Good evening, everyone. When this comes out, it will be good evening. Hope you're all well. Back once again, like the Renegade Master. Me and Johnny haven't been together on this channel for a long, long time.
Too
We've
long.
got a couple of stuff way too long, and it's not going to be that long again because I'm back after a much needed sabbatical, let's say. But we've got a couple of things to talk about. Johnny, first of all, how are you, brother?
I'm okay. I've missed Tottenham on tour.
We've missed you as well.
I've guested on a few other streams, but this is my home. This is where I broke my virginity, and
Exactly.
your first is always a special one, right?
Exactly. So let's get into this.
Tottenham on tour.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and I think is a really important thing to talk about, especially what's been going over the last few days. I'll talk about what this is about, then I'm going to let Johnny go, then obviously I'll respond. And I've always said at the moment at this football club, there's a civil war going on, all being led because of one man and how people feel about a certain man who owns this football club and the manner that things are being done. Well, this the civil war has now reached new heights on social media, and it's getting to a point where it is absolutely ridiculous. People that are predominantly leave you out, or people that are predominantly not leave you out, will tweet something, and the abuse that it's getting on both sides. Both sides. So it's not. I'm not standing here saying that it's all people that aren't leave you out going for people that are leave you out. This works on both sides. It works on both sides. It's toxic. It's horrible. And Johnny, I'll let you explain where you're coming from recently with what you've been going through on this, and then we'll have a general conversation about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always been against the fans booing individuals or targeting individuals on the pitch. The abuse Emerson was getting, for example, I thought was just way too much, right? Just vicious attack. And then the attack on Sanchez. Now, you might think Sanchez is no good as a footballer, but when his family flying from Colombia and they're sat there, watch their son, and he's there with his wife and his son, and he comes on and he gets that sort of treatment and literally breaks down, right, having to come off the pitch. And I know that it personally really affected him. And then I really tweeted a lot about this. And, I had a mix between people who said, yeah, it's disgusting, and other people just say he deserves it, he's shit, right? Okay. Then we get the Dele Alli video. Now, if you weren't moved by that, then I would say you're pretty heartless, because whatever you think of him, personally, I thought it was very sad how his career just plummeted, but none of us really had the insight to know the inner what was going on in his brain. And when I watched that, I don't know about everybody else, but I felt a certain amount of guilt for some of the comments and thoughts that I made. And I tweeted about that, and then Davinson Sanchez, funny enough, made a tweet saying, "We're behind you, brother." And I tweeted, I thought that was, fantastic that, how he handled all the abuse. Then I put a post up about, I think it was Eric Dyer, and the fact that we were going on tour with Dyer and Davis. And everyone's then started throwing to me, about the Dele Alli stuff, right? Now, I'm not personally attacking him. I don't think he's good enough to play as a club, as a footballer. I don't think Davis is good enough to play as a football. But I'm not actually attacking them. But the stuff that comes on and the viciousness of some of the comments, I get by with the depression of being a Spurs fan with humour, right? So a lot of my tweets are tongue-in-cheek. I made one about them being on the plane, and it was my fault. I put the wrong emoji. I meant to put a laughing emoji next to the fact, typical Levy EasyJet flight to Malaga, and it's meant to be a laughing emoji, but I had an angry face emoji. My fault. but the abuse, oh my God, it started going, I was like 75,000 views. I had people coming, I had to block about 20, 30 different people coming and abusing me about, no, it's how I feel, and a lot of fans feel, whether you Levy in or Levy out, it's banter, it's joking, it's finding humour in adversity. That's how I deal with it. But the viciousness of people, look, if we all agreed, Twitter would be boring, my spaces would be boring. So it's not a case of having a difference of opinion, because I think that's fantastic. It's when it gets vicious, personal, or nasty that I think that it gets out of hand. And instead of Twitter banning you for posting the Keepy Uppy video, or by mistake a video that you didn't realise it was the copyright or it was a big issue, Twitter should be on people. I think it was Harry Scarf had a situation where someone was attacking him for his condition, and they just attacked the weak. Now, I'm not into that. I don't. We need to stop all that. When I grew up as a Spurs fan, there wasn't social media, obviously, and Spurs fans were all unified. We went on there. Yeah, we disagreed. We spoke about this player being no good and that player being no good, but there was camaraderie, right? We were all in it together. Now it seems that the camps are so split. It doesn't even matter. I'm not just talking about Levy in, Levy out. I'm talking about, you can't even say Eric Dyer is no good. You can't even say that without having people come at you. Or Ben Davies. There was a picture of Ben Davies smiling, right? So I posted that. And Ben Davies has been a servant. How dare you? I'm not. It's just a joke, right? That's my opinion, that Ben Davies, has been at the club far too long. Yes, he's been a servant at the club, but he's not good enough for where we want to be. I just think that, Twitter needs to monitor some of the abuse that's coming, not just from me, for you, Brian, that comes your way for having an opinion. Respect the opinion. You don't have to agree with it. If you don't like the opinion or don't like the thing, move on. Move on. But people can't move on, unfortunately.
I think there's quite a lot to address here, Joe. Like I said, first of all, for someone that considers you a family member and a very, very dear friend, and knowing you very, very well, and for anyone that listens to Johnny's spaces or plays a part in Johnny's spaces, or can gauge what Johnny's tweets are mainly about, they're mainly about humour. Yeah. They are predominantly for entertainment. If you don't laugh, you cry. As opposed to me, that is very, very direct. There is a humour occasionally, but I am very, very straight and to the point. And you look at it, and I'll give you the perfect example. When I went on with Stelios on Flav's channel, The Fighting Cock, I put a tweet out that we're on it, got wonderful responses from people who were Levy out, saying brilliant that Flav's having this discussion, it's brilliant, people are giving it this a platform to, they're doing this, they're doing that. Of course, they're predominantly Levy out like myself. When Flav put it out on his channel, the abuse both Stella and I came in for was absolutely horrific. There are a few people that are like, do you know what, I listen to them and they're not as bad as thought, and blah, 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 blah. But what I did notice, because I studied this, is a lot of them are people that have 30 to 80 followers, have been on Twitter since 2000 and whatever, very, very rarely tweet, but all of a sudden pop up and try and get some interactivity, or try and say and try and do whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're trying to play at. Now, I even know when I put on a massive thing about Dele Alli when he did it.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't remember words for words there, but I changed the words of his song, and I said, I just don't think we understood, but we do now. There was a guy both on myself and Perchy that instantly went back 3 or 4 years to try and dig up Dele Alli tweets. And on one of them he put, "Isn't this you?" I'd put I'd put, I think it was one of the games before COVID, things I want to see from the first 11: passion, commitment, desire, blah blah blah, all those buzzwords. I said things I don't want to see: Dele Alli.
Yeah.
And it was like, so wait a minute, so that's a bad thing because I criticised a player's form as opposed to bad mouth and attacking. I make
Not
sure I never
verbal
ever.
attack. Yes,
Yeah,
it's not a verbal attack.
I'm talking about the footballer, not the
Yeah.
person, not the player. I didn't say anything negative towards him. I didn't make anything personal against him. I didn't at him, so he got it. I didn't hashtag him, so it became a thing that maybe his team of publicists, agents, or whatever team he has behind him, or even him personally, would have seen. But people are now mistaking criticism for abuse. There is a huge difference between criticism and abuse. And it's now becoming to a point, and I've seen this for a very long time, where people are attacking the person, not the discussion. And it's got to a point now where, like I said, John, listen, I know I'm a very, very easy target because of what I've done on YouTube for years or a few years now, where I stand and recognizable within Levy Out and things I arrange and things I promote and things I say. But I don't I don't go into people's timelines specifically looking for them and tagging them and commenting on everything they say.
You don't go into attack. I mean, you don't look to
No,
attack. You are attacked on the whole.
correct. And this is what we've become. Whether it's because it's Twitter and it's a cesspool. Listen, there's a people a lot bigger in this world that are famous that say certain things and get. I get that. You put yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there for that kind of response, which I understand that. And I speak to a lot of wonderful people that I've become very close with via Twitter. Hell, Johnny, you're one of them.
Yeah.
But then you get these other people that just want to attack. And here we go. Once again, I've been saying stuff for 15 years that I've been leaving out and seeing and repeating and seeing and repeating. And here we go again. We're dealing with it. And the knives are coming out again for the person, not the argument. And it's like I said, this civil war is becoming so toxic both as a fan base and on social media. It's getting out of hand, isn't it, Johnny?
Well, I think it is. I mean, I remember when I was sat in the South Stand, people were singing, those that were singing Daniel Levy, Get Out of Our Club, there were people turning around and literally going mad at them, because you can't voice an opinion. Their opinion is one thing, the others is another. I mean, why can you not have an opinion? Look, I don't have a problem. If someone's Levy in, that's up to them, right? Okay, I'm not going to sit there and say you shouldn't have that opinion. That's up to them. But when someone's Levy out, it seems to be you can't have that opinion. You've got no brain. You're a moron. It's everything detrimental. If you're Levy out, you don't have a brain. That's the perception. Okay. Well, I do have a brain, right? And I'm Levy out based on his performance over 22 years and the football club. I'm not talking about shiny stadiums and infrastructure and hotels, but the morons, I call them morons, the morons that come onto my pages and my streams are definitely of the lower IQ capacity by the content of the attacks that they put. I'm not there attacking anyone who is Levy in, right? There are plenty of people who I interact with who are Levy in, and we have a discussion, and they seem to be fine, but they are in the minority. They're in the minority. And in fact, I'll be honest with you, I took off my purple and gold last night, not because I'm not Levy out, it's because I literally was getting so much abuse, right? Just for having that constantly as being a moron, an idiot, a fucking idiot, right?
Yep.
I thought, I don't need to be judged like that. I can still have the opinion. But how sad is that? How sad is that two little dots and they think it's yellow and yellow and mauve, yellow and mauve, not purple and gold, right?
Well, this is the thing, Johnny. You talk about that. You talk about it, Johnny. I remember this. This is how bad it gets with that. Purple and gold became a thing, not by myself, not by any of my people that are, or the group I'm with that leave out and protest and do what we do. But obviously, someone put it on Twitter. It spread like wildfire. It attached. We attached with it.
We attached it to Man United.
No, but you know what? I had some people actually came out and said typical Levy outers choosing the UKIP colours. I was like, yeah, that's it, because that's what we did. So the LA Lakers, they're UKIP. Galaxy Caramel, UKIP. But just everything. Hogwarts was another one we got linked with. It's UKIP. This is how bad it become. And then you have people going, oh, if you got yellow and gold, you're a moron. That's not even worth debating. Blah blah blah. It's again, you attack the thing, not the argument.
Yeah.
And this is where we are. It's coming to a point, and we'll segment into this, because one of the big discussions now, still no centre backs, and we've become a football club. Johnny, you'll know this very, very well, and obviously you have people that you speak to and reliable sources and everything. We've become a fan base now that, first of all, rather than talking about the player and the quality and the attributes he bring, we speak about the financial deal and does it make good value and good commercial sense, and how many years is this paid over, and what are the fees, and oh, it's the last year of his contract nonsense. And also, we've become a team that are like, do you know what? The window closes in 6 weeks. Don't panic. Well, the window starts in 4 weeks. And as I was saying to you off stage, and I said this on Savage show earlier, people going, oh, it's not important, central defenders or whatever players, they come in, they're professionals, they do this job. Well, I ask everyone, if you start a brand new job in the profession you do, and they say, okay, listen, you've got the job, but training starts next Monday, and it's a 5-week training course, and then obviously you're doing your job. Do you turn around to your new employer and go, no, don't worry about the pre-season, don't worry about the training. I've done this job everywhere I go. I know this job. Just tell me when I start, and then I will just slot in, because I know everything that happens.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we become a club going, oh, but pre-season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're not there. They're professionals. They know what they do. They know how to do. They've done this for their career. They're professional athletes. I'm a professional customer service team leader. I've worked for multiple companies. One of the biggest online travel agents in the world. But when I start a new company and they go, right, you're a team leader, I don't go, okay, forget the training. I know what I'm doing. I know all your systems. I know all your scripts. I know all your ways of managing and coaching the team. I know all your legalities, and I know all your values and everything that goes in there. I know the handbook, everything. I can just slot straight in. Don't worry about training. That's a waste of time.
Doesn't work like
nonsense.
that.
What nonsense,
Doesn't
Johnny?
work like that. I mean, look, the thing is, great partnerships. We don't have a left centre back, okay? So poor old Cootie's out there at the moment looking, and he must be crying, because he was told, from what I was told, that don't worry, he would get a new partnership for the for the start of the season. Okay, he's out there with Davis, right, and whoever, right, playing at left back. That's no good for him. Why is he practicing a partnership? Great defenses are built on partnerships. He needed a Mickey van der Ven, right, in there, a natural left-sided centre-back, so they could bond together, right? Jan Vertonghen was a good player, right? But it wasn't until Toby came, right, that they formed a fantastic partnership. The longer they're together, the better they perform, okay? Do we want to be learning on the job when we're playing Man United and Brentford? No. I reckon Angie's in his office at the moment crying after those 2 training sessions, having seen, Joe Rodon and Davis and Dyer playing a high-line defensive system. I mean, we'll see tomorrow, but, West Ham aren't exactly on it just now, but it doesn't make any sense. And what's upsetting is that when you say this, okay, because a lot of my tweets have been based on the fact that still no centre backs, people are too busy attacking that tweet to understand the validity of what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is here, what sensible football club that wants to progress and move on hasn't done the centre back business from the off, right before we go on the tour, right? And these people who are coming back and saying, calm down, there's weeks to go, you know, well, when are we going to sign them? August the 31st, you know, and let them blend in. We saw with players like Jack Grealish, right, and Calvin Phillips, right? Jack Grealish, 1 year, first year in the club, he didn't perform. Everyone said the worst, one of the worst signings ever, £100 million. Look at him second season. Now everyone's attacking Calvin Phillips. What a waste of money, hasn't done anything. Players, not all players, integrate within 2 minutes. Mickey van der Ven is 22 years of age. He needs every moment he can with our club. If he is coming. He had 31 games. Before that, he was playing in the Dutch second division. So, you know, the people who just think a player can just waltz in and just be like that and form a partnership, they're delusional. Either players are there, the experienced players that are there currently now are having to learn Ange's system. It's a radical change from a pragmatic, really defensive system camped on the edge of the box to a system where you're practically on the halfway line and poor Big Vic Vicario, right, who's going to be like 15 yards outside of his goal. He's probably going and having sleepless nights already when he sees those balls coming over the top. Poor guy.
John, I think what you've got to also add to this is you mentioned about getting the partnership and the team bonding and the team getting to know. For me, and it was clearly shown this with Poch, is the most important thing for me is getting to the fitness levels that Ange demands of his players for the season. You look at it, Poch was always saying, I want my players in early because I'm known for my strenuous pre-season. And then obviously later on in the season, you're going to reap the benefits, which we saw.
Yeah.
But surely you want to make sure when the defenders come in, they're in the shape, ready to go. And first game of the season, Brentford away, all players are at the same level of fitness or the same understanding of what is required, ready to go. It doesn't matter what defender comes in. If you come in before, you need to get up to par of what Ange wants. And that's what pre-season is about.
I've got to tell you, you just taken me back to a tweet a tweet I did about Ndombele leaving his car. Now,
yeah, that one was great.
So he's walked out of his car, his chauffeur-driven car, and he looked exhausted by the time he got to the door, right? And I just put, in body language was a thing, his poor excitement of him turning up for training, right? His slow walk, he looked exhausted by the time he got to the door. If body language is a thing, then it's goodbye, mate. Now, it's just a joke. It's, you know, it's a bit of banter. I was called a racist. I was called this, that, and the other, right? And I had something like 700,000 views, right, that tweet. And it was just meant as a bit of banter. So what happened was it stopped me doing a tweet about Ryan Sessegnon, who looked rather large when he arrived, okay? And I put someone hasn't been doing, someone's been at McDonald's, and I had a little burger emoji, right? I said, it won't be long before his cheesy hamstrings go again. Thank God I didn't put that one on because that put me off. But in some ways, he didn't even last a week before his hamstring went. But yeah, conditioning, hopefully Ndombele is being conditioned and other players are being conditioned. But you're right. Mickey van der Ven or Tapsoba or Tosin or
Anderson, who's been chucked in.
Yeah. Or Nielsen or Buongiorno from Torino or Gedson Bremner, whoever, they need to be part and parcel of the team. Now, yes, it was fantastic we got Big Vic. Yes, it was great that we got Maddison, right? Huge for us, Maddison. And nice that we got Manor Solomon. But we all know, just like last season, when we signed Basuma and Richarlison and Perisic, and we got all excited. And then we were told, don't worry, the defenders are coming. Chill out, chill out, chill out. And what happened? Clement Longley. That's all we got, right? Now, I'm not going to accept, and I don't believe Ange will accept the fact that that's all he gets in. Because if it is what we get in, then eighth will be a distant memory.
Yeah.
We need players in now.
Of course we do. And like I said before, if Clement Longley does come back to this football club, the way we reward our worst defensive record in Premiership history, we were told that he could only play in a back three, not in a back two, but the way we're going to reward having that record of being part of our worst defensive record and you can only play in a three, not a two, is to re-sign him on the cheap to play in a two. If this deal comes across, whether you say he's better than Dyer or better than Sanchez,
well,
whatever.
He is better, but he's not what is 100% needed. I accept him as a backup, but not as a first teamer.
Yeah, I just simply I don't. I think this will fundamentally show once and for all that it doesn't matter what manager comes in. If it's a cheap deal and can get over the line, we'll take it. Listen, Manuel Solomon is coming for a lot of criticism, or look at these other players and we got him on a free. Do you know what? It could be one of the shrewdest bits of business this season. It really could, but it could act as a shrewd bit of business because you haven't had to have that initial transfer outlay, which can go towards the defenders. This has been a 3-year problem, Johnny. I don't know if you've been on streams when I've said it. When it comes to, I put a tweet out about it, and I was like, when you have a leaky roof and it first starts leaking, the first thing you do is you go get a little pan from the kitchen, or a little, and you put it under the leak, and it keeps dripping, and then soon that leak starts getting a bit heavier, so you realise that the pan isn't big enough, and you trade it for a bucket.
I'd change it for a roofer, personally.
But that's exactly where I'm going. But then it may start in another place. So what you do is you get the pan again, and then when that pan becomes, you get two, and then you got two buckets, and then it starts coming down gradually. You think, shit, this ain't going away. We may need to call in a roofer and just seal the roof off to stop this. Well, it's exactly what we're doing with defenders. It's exactly what we are doing with defenders. This has been a problem for 3 years. And you would think, you would see, I mean, it's been getting worse and worse. But then when you say playing in a back three, you have your worst defensive record in Premiership history. You would think, right, where is a key fundamental area that needs addressing and needs addressing now?
Yeah.
But here we are. And George Bannister even said today, I don't know how legit it is or whatever, that this deal has been all wrapped.
Son, is it?
But apparently the deal was wrapped up a few weeks ago. Everything was all signed, sealed, delivered. But then someone tried to lower the price.
Well,
and here we are.
Can I tell you? As you know, that I was told on the 24th of June that the deal was done. I don't always post because for obvious reasons, I don't want to get into trouble.
Yep.
But I told the people that I know, close to me, that the Maddison deal was done 7 hours before even Fabrizio posted it, right?
Yeah.
But you got all these ITKs that go out and they're posting this, that, and the other, right? Good luck to them if they, because you get it wrong. Great if you get it right, and if you get it wrong, so I don't even bother with it. But there is substance to that story because, as I said, I was told that it was done. The deal was done. Personal terms had been agreed and the fee had been agreed, and he would be with us the week of us going to the airport. Okay. Now what's happened is that other parties have come in and they now Wolfsburg feel that they could get the price higher than the original price that
we're trying to get it lower.
Yeah. So, but yes, it went very quiet. It's the first time I think since I've been on Twitter where I had the information and it's not come to pass within the time frame that I was told it was going to happen. But yeah, it's an absolute farce. And listen, it's as much as a farce as this whole bloody tour, because why are we going to the other side of the world, absolutely screwing up our players, right? They're absolutely knackered. They've flown halfway around the world. They've got there, a couple of training sessions. They're going to play West Ham, right? In a meaningless game, okay? Then they're going to get on another plane. Then they're going to fly to Thailand. They're going to play relegated Leicester. Then they're going to fly to Singapore and they're going to play a pub team that was formed 3 years ago, Singapore pub team. And then they're going to go home. Now, the only thing, the upshot is they will be absolutely knackered. They will be jet lagged. And Ange will have learned absolutely nothing more about his defence. Yes, he would have learned more about his attack, but the defence will be exactly the same. I need my defenders. I don't have them. I've learned absolutely nothing other than they're not good enough.
So Johnny, what I will say before I ask you this question, don't forget, people, we're on the road to getting 6,000 subscribers. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the stream.
Don't forget to like and subscribe today.
Exactly. I apologise for the lack of consistency. I've had a lot going on in my personal life that people close to me will know about, so it's very hard for me sometimes to deal with it daily, but I am going to try my best to get it back up and running daily. Ben's doing his bits, so please like and subscribe. But going back to with the Van der Ven deal, and now if this deal was set in stone or personal terms have been agreed, from your knowledge, from people that you know and whatever, and now we're hearing there's interested parties that are also interested in Van der Ven. At what part does the player go, do you know what, I thought this deal was set up weeks ago. I've said I want to join this club. I've done everything I need to do. Yet this team, the buying team, is still trying to haggle and negotiate. Surely there comes a point where the player goes, do you know what? How badly do they want me? What kind of intent are they showing me? If another team come in and go, right, Van der Ven, what do you want? Bang, fee agreed, bang. There's got to become a time right now with Van der Ven where it's like the season's fast approaching.
I think he's gone on tour with them. I think Mickey Van der Ven's going on tour with Wolfsburg. I'll tell you where it happened with. I was told from a very good source that Joachim Andersen, the deal with Spurs was agreed and sorted, personal terms and everything. And
when you're talking, Johnny, this season or before he went to Palace?
When he was leaving Fulham, right? Okay. And he was coming to us, and Daniel was faffing about, dragging his heels, and the player got fed up. Palace came in, and he said, look, I've got Spurs. It went away. They came back. They said, well, nothing's happening. And he turned around and he said, if you match Spurs' offer, I'll come to you. And that's what happened, right? So now the links with us, with Joachim Andersen, are laughable. I personally don't think he's fast enough and would work in Ange's system anyway. I think Tosin works much better. But still, it just shows you how if you drag your heels, if that's your target, get in there, get it done. Yes, negotiate on the price and the payment terms, but just get in there and get it done. Don't faff about. If it's your number one target, make sure you get your number one target. Maddison was our number one midfield target. We got it. Big Vic was a call. I must admit, I had only seen Empoli probably play 2 games ever, I think, by chance. So I did research on him. Maddison we all knew, and obviously Solomon we knew. But we need the centre-backs. No one wants to listen to the frigging story of this, that, and the other. It's just the same old Tottenham. We are the banter club of Great Britain. We got players, we got fans at concerts and at WWE mocking us.
And at Wimbledon.
And at Wimbledon as well, was it as well?
Yep. Where people are screaming, what do you think of Tottenham?
Yeah.
I mean, with WWE, I don't know if that's because of Expressions being there, my man Expressions. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But this is what it's become. This is where we are. And like we said, still, I think, Johnny, we're going to do these a lot more regularly. I think this time next week, we're still talking, still no centre-backs. In fact, I think every time we do a stream, we're going to have a closing bit about still no centre-backs, because I think this is going to drag on and drag on and drag on. But I think we'll leave that there for today.
Can I just say one last thing?
Go on, bro.
Just say one last thing. Sorry.
Go on.
I had hope when I saw all the videos of Ange that I'm my own man, right? I'm not going to stand for anything, okay? And we heard that he doesn't mess about. So first thing I expected was not to see Dyer and Davis on the plane. Okay, if he turns out and he says, "I'm happy with my squad," when the transfer window closes, or he turns around and he says, "I believe that Eric Dyer could be a world-class defender," I'd know that he was in fact all talk and he was just another Levy puppet. I hope he isn't, because the guy comes across fantastic in the press,
Yep.
and on a personal level, I'm really liking a guy who is not talking like he's doing us a favour by being there. He's talking like a guy who's proud to be there, and for me, that's a massive step up.
It is. And Jonny, in closing, where can people find you?
Here we go.
You still can't get used to that, can you? You do it the wrong way. There you go.
Jonny H, Jonny H 3232. I've also got a new Instagram account. It's Let's Talk Tottenham. Give me a follow. We're always welcome in my spaces. Well, I'm holding them a lot more during the season, but we're holding them when something topical comes on. We normally get a few hundred people in, so come in. Welcome to talk, even if you don't agree with us.
Correct.
More people don't agree with us, great. And hopefully I'll be on here or on other stream. But please give me a follow on my Twitter, and you'll see when the spaces are on, because I'll go purple. And thanks, Brian, for having me on, as always.
Brother, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. So, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments in the comments section below after you've seen this stream. You will be seeing a lot more of me. You certainly will be seeing a lot more of Jonny. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.